LOLeros, hello. Sit down, get comfortable. Let's talk about Zelle. Okay, you've heard about it. You may already be using it. Not sure. I know I am. And not just because they're such a great supporter of the Latinos Out Loud podcast. Thank you, Zelle. But because it's really easy to use and it makes the most sense. Literally, dollars and cents. When anyone sends you money or if you need to get paid back, always ask for Zelle. With Zelle, the money goes straight into your bank account and it works even if the sender banks somewhere different than you in the United States of America. All right. Look, I be going out with the kids, the moms, the dads, the nannies, the grannies, the tios, the tias. We all sometimes hang out. We go to the park. We like to bring pizzas for the kids, granola bars. You got to mix it up, healthy, not healthy. And we all split the costs. It's real great when you find like a cluster of friends that it's just a given that someone is going to hit you back. And in this case, the like group of moms that I be rolling with, they see me rolling. All the moms and dads, we use Zelle and we pay each other back with Zelle. It's great. It's very convenient. And I know it's going to go through and I know it's going to hit my bank account really, really fast. And the money goes straight into your account, typically in minutes. Seconds. I've seen it go through in seconds. It's really, really fast. So like, that you'll be able to go back to Trader Joe's or wherever you shop and buy some more of those frozen vegetable nests. They're so good. Everything in the frozen aisle of TJ's is good. All right. You also don't have to download another app because it's probably already in your banking app. So just double check that you have the correct US number, the mobile number, and email address. This way, the recipient is the right recipient and your money goes to the right place, straight into their bank account or yours. So mi gente, LOLeros, look for Zelle in your banking app today.
It's the Latinos Out Loud podcast.
Yo, 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 yo,
Yo ho 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 ho.
yo, yo, yo. Yes,
Whoa.
Jamie, good job with the sound effects.
I don't know. I started with a monkey sound, and then I was like, I saw you were doing Christmas, and then I went to ho ho ho. I don't know.
I love all of it.
It
It's
was
fine.
all over the place.
Monkeys celebrate Christmas too. So
Monkey see, monkey do.
exactly. And monkey me, monkey you. So that's what we're gonna do right here. This is Latinos Out Loud. Okay.
But then this time I'm like, let me try an animal noise of some sort.
So you
And
went with a
see.
passive monkey. He was very cool and collected, that monkey.
Yeah, it was a monkey that was like, kind of still trying to just blend in with the other monkeys. So he was doing the ooh, ah, ah, but not like, not too overbearing, right? You know what I mean?
You know what?
Not obnoxiously, right?
I'm going to be obnoxious for a sec, and I'm really glad you brought up the subject of monkeys. I did not tell you guys this, but I had a big moment with my mom the other night. I did.
Okay. This involves monkeys? I don't know what to expect from this story.
I have a picture that's going to show you how involved the monkeys are. So I wasn't feeling so hot from the COVID booster that I got, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
So I texted my mom. It was 1 a.m, probably 1:20 a.m. Eastern. And I thought she might be up because she does a lot of the Facebook catching up of the family at that time. I see her on her tableta at night. And she happened to be awake. She's like, hola, mija. So I called her and she was mad awake. I'm like, why are you so awake? And she's like, ay, Rachel, I cannot stop looking at these baby monkeys from China. And this is what she was obsessed with. I had to take screenshots. My mom was obsessing over newborn monkeys being born in China and them like sucking milk out of their mother's nipples.
So the people that are just listening to the podcast, Rachel's showing me pictures of basically baby monkeys suckling the teat of their mama monkey.
Is this what Latina moms do? Latina moms and grandmas, they watch videos of newborn monkeys from China being born at 1:30 in the morning on a Tuesday?
I'm pretty sure my mother in some point showed me a little baby monkey suckling the teat of their mom.
I just thought that was interesting to know what Latina moms and grandmas do at like 1:30 in the morning on their tablets.
Now, what you need to show your mom, I saw a video like from when we were recording this a couple days ago. It was like a mama monkey. She goes into this room, and so underneath the cloth is her baby monkey that she had a couple days before that they had to take away from her because it was like sick. So the mama monkey's going in there. She looks kind of, down, maybe kind of sad. All of a sudden, you see the little monkey baby hand come out of the towel in the middle of the room. The mama monkey immediately grabs the baby and makes this sound like, oh my goodness, like my baby. You know what I mean? Like she's like, you could see in the way that she's the sounds that she's making and her face that this is the best. This is like her world is right there. You know what I mean? And you can tell that, oh my God, like she thought that the baby was gone and now it's back. But it was very emotional to see that. And I'm like, if you're gonna see a monkey video, that's the monkey video to see. You know
Am
what I'm
I
saying?
missing the monkey bandwagon here or something? Is that like a monkey video trend that I don't know about? Because it seems like you and my mom are on the same monkey page.
No, I'm not looking for those videos.
Are you sure?
It just popped up in my Instagram like algorithm. I'm not searching for monkey vaginas, monkey suckling monkey teats. I'm not doing that.
Are you sure?
I'm not. This one was
All right,
like
we don't have to
almost
talk about
viral. I feel like this was a viral one that was going around.
I didn't know monkey videos were a thing. I'm gonna have to do some monkey video research this weekend.
Yo, just stay out of my monkey business. Damn.
Yo, I can't with you. Monkey business is such an 80s term. It's like, do the kids even know what that is? Mom, what's monkey business? Oh, go Google it. Do we have to explain it? Okay, here's something that's not monkey business. Jamie, this is serious. This is serious. Okay, now 2 words, and this is super serious. World Cup. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. It's big. It's huge. It's happening now. It's all over the world. It's the cup of the world. It's the World Cup.
Yeah.
Everybody's sipping from this cup right now. It's crazy.
Everybody is a soccer fan now. Like, and I think a lot of these fans that are in the bars watching these World Cups, I would say like half of them don't know a lot about soccer. They're just kind of along for the ritual of like watching the World Cup, drinking with your friends and rooting for goals and listening for the announcer when he's like, goal.
And then everybody does it at the same time, right? Go! Like, it's fun to like hold your breath and say that,
Because I'll ask questions to people that are like, oh my God, did you see the World Cup today? The games and blah, blah, blah. And I'll ask them a straight up simple soccer question. And they'll be like, yeah, I don't know. But the game was crazy though. It was like, wow, you got to see it. So I don't know. I think a lot of people just there for the bandwagon, but they're the hardcore World Cuppers, world fans. This is their like Super Bowl, but it lasts like for weeks, right?
Okay, so Qatar is popping right now, and we had the luxury and pleasure and honor of meeting the host of the new NPR podcast called La Última Copa. I was like, the last cup, the final cup. It's the final cup down.
The final cup is like when you run out of liquor at a house party, and it's like, yo, it's the final cup, y'all. It's the final cup, y'all.
Yo, that happened recently, son, too. Like, we ran out of cups, and my homie was like, yo, you gonna drink that orange juice anymore? Emptied it out, rinsed it, opened up the carton, used it as a cup. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Definitely.
Especially when you're in the woods. All right, so we had the pleasure of interviewing and chatting with Jasmine Garsd. Now, you may know Jasmine Garsd from the amazing podcast Alt Latino. She was
Mm-hmm.
the co-host, and we recently interviewed her, the person filling her shoes, Ana Maria Sayer. So check out that episode if you haven't. But now she's the host of this amazing, again, NPR podcast called The Last Cup. Now, this is being brought to you by NPR and Futuro Studios, who we know very well. Shout out to Maria Hinojosa. Shout out to Latino Rebels. Shout out to everything they're doing over there at Futuro Media, Futuro Studios. And this is The Last Cup. I don't want to give it away too much, but wow, this woman is brilliant and brings a level of knowledge about the World Cup, about Lionel Messi, um, about his past,
Yeah.
about immigration.
This conversation is gonna get messy in many different ways.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jamie. Wow. Yeah. It got messy. It got messy about Messi because I didn't even know his story was so messy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
His story is messy, but actually quite like beyond sports. This is a real podcast, people, about more than just the World Cup, more than just sports. It touches, like I said, on immigration, the Argentinian, worst economic crisis that the country has faced.
This World Cup
It
runneth
just
over. Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's a great way to put it. So check this out. Check out this interview with Jasmine Garsd. I love having, especially brilliant women, Jamie. I love brilliant men too, like yourself. But having a brilliant woman, especially covering a topic like the World Cup,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's incredible. And I'm just so really honored to meet Jasmine.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Go.
I cannot believe we just did it at the same time. Okay, LOLeros, listeners of Latinos Out Loud, listen intently. This is the part of the show where we interview someone amazing. And I say that every week, but I'm going to add to that this week. Are you into the World Cup? Of course you are. We're all into the World Cup. We're into anything that comes around every 4 years. Come on, people. And I am so excited to have our next guest on the show. She's from Argentina, so don't cry for me. And she's the host of NPR's new podcast, The Last Cup, La Copa Final. Please put your hands together and kick your soccer balls into the goals for Jasmine Garsd. Woo!
Hola.
I always wanted to do that.
Qué linda presentación. I think you have a promising career in soccer narration.
Thank you so much. I am very honored because I don't know much about soccer or football other than the fact that it's very exciting and so many people jump on the bandwagon, myself included, okay? Everything about the World Cup is exciting to me. The geographic location, the flags, the colors, the teams. This is an
Yeah.
exciting time, and who better to talk to about it than Jasmine? Jasmine, welcome to the Latinos Out Loud podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you for being here and congratulations. Now, I got to shout you out big time because you are the former host of Alt Latino,
I
which
am.
is an iconic show.
Oh,
And
thank you.
we just had Ana Maria Sayer on the
I-
Latinos Out Loud podcast.
I
So
love her.
I love her too. I
Yeah.
fell in love. I'm like, so she, I fell in love with her before I even met her because I'm obsessed with Tokisha, and you guys did the Tokisha Tiny Desk.
Wasn't
And
that
I'm
tiny? That's kind of, that was like, wow.
wow is a great adjective. Wow is a great way to describe it. It was
Oh.
just wow. It was
Like, I never thought I
stupid.
would see Tokisha on a tiny desk, to be
Me
honest.
neither. I think the whole world thought that. So when it happened, it was really culture shifting. And
Yeah.
it just plays right into exactly what she's doing for us. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So shout out to NPR, WNYC for all this brilliant programming. I believe this is also in partnership. Well, you guys are in partnership with Futuro Media as well.
Yes, yes.
Shout out to Maria Hinojosa. shout out to Latino Rebels. You know, we're all one big family. We may all be on different networks and distributed by different, platforms or what have you, but we are family. Somos
Uh,
familia.
it's
We
yeah.
all want each other to win, and it's been years. Okay, this is not an interview with me and myself. This is an interview with me and you, and I feel like I'm talking a lot. Jasmine, so first off, I want to just talk about this podcast, La Copa Final, because when you hear it, you're like, wait a minute, is this the last World Cup? Explain to me La Copa Final and the premise behind it.
Y Raquel, can I just point out one side? No, it's la última copa.
Oh, my bad. Let's
No,
go
I
back
just want to
then.
make sure that like people know how to find it. Sorry.
It's, you know what? I'm so sorry.
No, todo bien. I didn't
It's
mean
the
to like,
last cup.
yeah,
I'm so glad you did that.
yeah, okay.
Augusto, I'm gonna go back and ask that question again so I say it the right way. And thank you so much,
No,
Jasmine.
of
I'm sorry
course.
about that.
No,
The
yeah.
last cup, la última copa. Okay. Uh, okay. So I would really like to get this started because I feel like I'm talking to myself a lot here. This is not an interview with me and Rachel. This is an interview with me and Jasmine. So Jasmine, I'm really confused about the title of this podcast because I think it could be confusing to people. I mean, I know the answer, but I want to hear it from you. It's called The Last Cup, La Última Copa. So can you explain to us what that means, the premise of this amazing podcast?
Sure. So it's the last cup for soccer superstar Lionel Messi, Leo Messi.
Aha.
So Leo Messi is considered one of the greatest soccer players in soccer history. You know, possibly the best current player in soccer. And this is his last cup. He's announced that he's retiring. He's in his mid-30s, which in soccer years is a lot. Or I shouldn't say it's a lot. He's in his mid-30s, which, he's approaching retirement time for a soccer player. And he said this is his last cup. And what's really crazy is that even though Leo Messi is like he's the best soccer player possibly in the world right now, he's one of the best in soccer history, he's never won a World Cup.
I can't believe it.
It's crazy, and it's really like the podcast also explores his relationship with his home country, with Argentina, and how fraught and not great that relationship has been because of this. Yeah,
But
yeah,
Messi's story is interesting, right? Because it goes beyond sports,
yeah,
right? This is his urge to return home. This is his track to a FIFA trophy. So there's a lot of lead up going on here. Talk to us about his story. Talk to us about why he's rose to such stardom.
yeah. So he's like he grows up in Argentina in Rosario, which is like a rural province, right? And he grows up in Argentina around the same years I grew up in Argentina. And he's like this prodigy. I mean, people are like, this kid is it, right? And then when he's like around 9 years old, when he's around 9 years old, his family starts to realize something's off, something's wrong. And what's off is that he's not growing. He just doesn't grow. And so they take him to a doctor. He has a hormonal deficiency. So they have
Oh.
to give him a hormonal treatment. And then he keeps playing. He keeps being just a young superstar, 10, 11 years old. But what happened in Argentina is that by the early 2000s, late 90s, Argentina was in an economic crisis that was so severe. It finally in 2000 when the country like it collapsed. The country had an economic collapse, a political collapse. It just imploded. And what that meant was, cancer treatments were interrupted. There was no insulin, and someone like Messi, couldn't access a hormonal treatment. And so in 2000, his family starts talking about going to Spain. Like, we have to leave now. So he is like 12 or 13 when he moves to Spain with his dad. He leaves the rest of his family behind and he goes with his dad to Spain to play at Barca. Um and so Messi's whole story is he becomes this superstar at Barca in Spain and then in Europe and across the world. But his dream is to one day go back home and play. The problem is when he goes back to play for Argentina, people are like, who's this foreigner?
Mm.
Who is this? We don't know you. You're not from here. You're a European kid. You're from Spain. And this like destroys him. It just destroys him. Yeah.
This is really interesting. So, and yeah, and what about the people like isn't there this like universal love of just soccer, that would override that? Where does that collide?
There is a universal love of soccer. The thing is like there's so many great soccer players in South America and in Argentina and all these soccer heroes. And there's also, you have the figure of Diego Maradona, who is like considered one of the best in the world as well. Um, and with Messi, I don't know, I was just really fascinated by this idea of like, you're beloved in the whole world, but then you go back home and people are like, who are you? We don't care. And it's weird. Like I'm a reporter for NPR News in my day job, and I covered a lot of immigrant communities. And there's something universal about this, about how you navigate your relationship with people back home, and how people back home see people who left and their children. There was something that I kept hearing, like I kept hearing this concern and nostalgia and anxiety and resentment to some degree. And yeah, that's kind of why wanted to do this.
I would like to take it a step back. I know you're in the trenches at NPR. I learned that you're the criminal justice correspondent,
Yeah.
which is also interesting.
Mhm.
But did you develop this idea and then pitch it? Like, how did this even get conceptualized? If you don't mind sharing.
I mean, I was really fascinated by like the level of like vitriol and anxiety that Messi like elicited every time he would go back home, Like he would come back and he would lose a cup and everyone would be like, we don't want him here. We have great local players. We don't need this guy from Spain to come back here and try and help
Wow.
us, And
Wow.
he would just like collapse on the field and cry, and it was all very dramatic. And I was really fascinated by that, you know, and um and simultaneously I was tuning into these conversations, and I remember there was this one time a few months ago where I got on an Uber, and the driver was from the Dominican Republic, era Dominicana.
I Dominicano. Shout out.
Y me estaba hablando. He starts like talking to me. We start having this conversation in español about, he's an older man. And he was like, I'm ready to retire. Like I'm ready to just stop working. And he started talking to me about this conflict that he had. Me vuelvo a República Dominicana. Like, do I go back to this place I haven't lived in for like 30, 40 years? Because that's what people back home kind of expect. But I already have this life here. And also, he's like, there's always been this tension with like, I'm sending money back home, and people, they they love that, but they're also like it can be demanding, you know? And there's some resentment too. Like anytime I set some boundaries, there's like, who do you think you are? You're a hot shot in Estados Unidos.
Mhm.
And as he was really, we really, it was a long drive. I was going from Brooklyn to Queens. But as we were talking, it just kind of clicked like, oh, this is like kind of an internal conversation that happens to a lot of people.
Wow.
Um, yeah.
You
And
almost feel
then
like an imposter, going back. There's this Dominican notion too, if I could just quickly interject,
please,
of once you're in New York and you become this acculturated New Yorker, you're a Dominican York. And when you go back home, you're like not even one of them anymore. You're not even like a native. What
yeah.
is that? Why?
I mean, I think that like immigration is complicated and it's cruel, and we explore that in the podcast. Like I talk to friends, like I talked to my best friend who like was a brother to me, is a brother to me, and I really in the like when I was recording, I wanted him to be like, I miss you so much. And he kept it real and he was like, I was really angry when you left because I
Hmm.
had to stay behind en un país roto. I had to stay behind on the sinking ship and you got to go have a great adventure. A ver, my great adventure was trabajando minimum wage, ¿no?
Exactly. You come here and it's not like, the streets are not gilded. They're not lined with gold or there's no money in the sidewalks. Unless you get lucky and somebody drops it, but I usually give it back to the person. Anyway.
No, pero I think that ahí entra también like perceptions de Hollywood también, ¿no? Like people back home, they watch TV shows and movies and they're like, you're gonna go live this great life. You have this great life. And yeah, like Estados Unidos is a lot better than a lot of places, pero especialmente when you just get here, it's really difficult. It's very
Yeah.
difficult. And I think there's some level of resentment. Me fascina what you're telling me about los dominicanos, because I saw this a lot con New Yorkers y Puerto Ricans y Chicanos y Mexicanos. This like anxiety and tension about like, wait, who are you? Who am I? No?
Exactly. Who are you? Who am I? And are you less Dominican than me?
Right,
No.
right.
Like, of course not. We still love our flag. We still love our country. We love our food. Like, it's really interesting. There's this, like, that like dichotomy of life, like where there's this divide, living two lives, feeling less Dominican because you're not on the mother country. In the mother country, you're here. I guess that's something that all Latinos must go through, huh? That struggle of, that connection to the motherland and being here. It's interesting.
Yeah. I think also like you hear it a lot with the like who do you think you are? Like when you go back kind of. But it's also like what's I hear it a lot also with like politics. Like cuando das tu opinión about politics and people back home are like, you can't even say anything. No puedes
Mm.
dar tu opinión because you're far away.
You
It's like,
don't
well,
even live here.
you don't
But
even live here.
yet, my family, many members have dual citizenship and they also vote,
Claro.
right?
Claro.
I have a question about, like, whenever we speak to interesting people like you who have
Thank
done
you.
tons of research on celebrities, in this case, star soccer player, I like to ask, what were like some of the, or maybe one or two things that really were eye-opening that you were like, I did not know that about Messi, or something that you can tell the fans that's
Yeah.
really captivating about that you found out from your research.
I mean, I think the thing that captivated me the most was how hard it was for him to leave. I think people see him now, and this was a concern when I was doing this podcast because I was like, I don't want anyone to feel like I'm saying like Messi, he's a millionaire and he has a great life. But there was what I found out in the research is like just how difficult it was for this kid to leave. Like, all these athletes were kids one time, and a lot of them came from really difficult situations. And when I was talking to people close to him, I found, for example, like, he goes to Barcelona, he's like 12, 13. It's him and his dad. He's far away from everyone. He's amazing. He like trains every day. He's stellar. And then after morning training, like he goes home and he locks himself in his room and cries.
Oh my God, bendito. What?
Yeah, and like he doesn't want his dad to know. And he has this feeling, which he's gonna have to navigate as he gets older, of like, I have to win, I have to do well, because literally my entire family depends on this. And this whole decision is this. And that's also something that I think is there's a universality to like the immigrant child or the first generation where it's like, I cannot fail. Like there's no
Mhm,
A for effort. You
mhm.
do it, you know?
Right.
So that's one thing. And the other thing is like, me llamó mucho la atención how much he had to change. And that's another universal theme of like, te vas, you leave, and you are gonna have to change things about yourself. And so when he arrives at Barcelona and they start training him, they ask him to change his style of soccer, like because he plays very Latin American, which is rough and tumble and aggressive and
Mm-hmm.
improvisational. So they're like they really want him to start playing like more European style, which is very es muy técnico. It's very
Mm,
planned and like mechanical almost. And they
okay.
also they're like I think this is muy como tierno, like it's very sweet. They're like, you're gonna have to start eating some vegetables, man. He has like this very working class Argentine diet of like fried meat and Coca-Cola.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Yes, and they're like so there's this anecdote where like his coach, Pep Guardiola, who's like a famous coach, takes him out to a restaurant, lets him order whatever he would eat, which is like it's like a chicken parm or something, and like a gallon of Coca-Cola, and he's like, okay, see this? This isn't gonna work out.
I think what's really interesting about this whole podcast that you've worked on is that you've drawn this parallel path between your immigration story and Messi's
Yeah,
immigration story. And that speaks volumes to me. That says a couple things. It says that Latinos in this country are more united than we think. We have like a lot of the same patterns and journeys, triumphs, losses.
yeah,
Um, we persevere. We we have to live in these two different worlds, being Argentinian, also being American in your
yeah,
case. So I would love for you, aside from like those parallels that you've drawn, is, the LOLeros often seek this kind of inspiration and there's that relatability.
yeah.
So what could you tell us about that, about like the story of immigration and your, personal triumph and maybe some of the ways you continue to represent and be
Yeah.
who you are, proud of your country, but also playing that, I don't want to call it a game, but since it's a sports topic, why not? Playing that game of maintaining your Latinidad and I'll call it Americanidad at the
Yeah.
same time.
I mean, I think that this like I was so inspired actually by Messi's story, to be honest, because he's really a story of someone who was told a lot of times, like, you're not gonna, you can't do this. You're not gonna, like, when he goes to his home club in Argentina and his parents are like, could you help us pay for the hormonal treatment? Because otherwise we're gonna have to leave the country. And what this didn't make it into the podcast, but it's what was said infamously was what was rumored to have been said infamously is leave. We have other great players.
Oh
We don't need
my
you.
God. Oh my God.
And so over and over again, it's like he's not gonna make it. He's not gonna do it. There's no reason this kid is gonna make it. And he does what he loves. And I think, you know, this podcast, like it was interesting to write about, like especially in the first two or three episodes, like about this very como momento desolado, like this very anxious moment for me, which is when we arrived. And we were like it was a moment of intense loneliness and anxiety. Like it was just like like living in a motel with my family, and then like, having a lot of jobs, like, at different minimum wage spots, and like I don't know, it was like a moment of like maybe this was a mistake. Like this is just horrible. This is difficult. And I've spoken to a lot of people, like when they first arrived, like that first year or two is just devastating. And there was this moment where I had this editor who was a jerk when I started out. And he said to me, I don't think you are gonna be able to be a reporter because you don't really have your pulse on like American culture.
Oh, oh. Y eso. Oh, oh.
Bueno, obviamente era una manera muy coded de decir lo que estaba queriendo decir, ¿no? And for me, like what I was really clear on from all those like years of like really hustling, it was that we are American culture. Like you don't have your finger on the pulse. I have my finger on the pulse. You don't. And I think that for like what I'm trying to say is like just like believe that your experience is gonna make you not just a stronger, but more interesting and more powerful person. Because like we are the US and Latinos, it's like when people are like, when is soccer gonna catch up in America? Like, when is soccer gonna catch on in the US? What are you talking about? Like, Latinos love soccer and we've been here. You need to catch on.
I am on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Lot of bars, and I'm telling you, the bars have the flags.
Yeah,
You know which World Cup team
right.
is represented in that bar, and you better be careful wearing an Argentina jersey if you see that Mexican flag outside the bar. I'm just saying.
No,
And
I
and
know.
I think that's so fascinating because these
Yeah,
bars, some of them are Irish bars, some of
yeah,
them are not Latino owned bars. So I
right.
agree with you. I think the fans are here.
Yeah,
And I think it's really fun to watch the fans mobilize by country. I love seeing the flags of Latino America adorn the
yeah.
bars and everything else decorated World Cup. I guess my final question in this interview, Jasmine, is what would you like the listeners to take away from the last cup?
I think the last cup is, in the end, it's like a reflection on that, you get to build your own relationship with home. Like, don't let anyone prescribe it. Don't let anyone tell you what that is. Like, you can build it, and you build it through like the people who love you, like the friends, the family. In a way, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but like sometimes there is a feeling like an anxiety about like, well, where am I from? I'm from nowhere. But the flip side of that is also you're from everywhere. And I think
Mm,
there's something really beautiful about like Latinos as a people that like are so like mobile and flexible and just from everywhere, and that there's like such a strength and a beauty in that. I don't think it's a weakness at all. I think it's a strength.
agreed.
I
Agreed.
think, yeah.
No, please continue. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I think that like, this is like our superpower.
Yeah, it is a superpower. We're superheroes and we should flaunt it. We should all wear capes. And you know what? It's easy to find a cape. We should all wear capes, but like those big flags. So find your flag of choice, wrap it around, and let's just all walk around the streets during the World Cup with our flags on our backs like
Yeah.
capes because we are
It's winter. We
superheroes.
can do it.
And there's another layer for you. Exactly. Jasmine, I really want to thank you for coming on Latinos Out Loud. And the podcast already dropped. The Last Cup by NPR and Futuro Studios dropped on November 10th. So it's still fresh. Go check it out. The episodes are up wherever you can consume podcasts. And Jasmine, please tell everybody where they can follow you because you have an incredible career. You also
Oh.
have this charismatic multi-layered, multi-dimensional career that's quite fascinating.
Well, let's see. I am on Instagram. I'm Jasmine G Journalist. That's Jasmine G Journalist. And I'm Jas Garsd on Twitter. That's Jasgarsd, as in David.
Amazing. Amazing work on also making this more than just a sports story.
Well, thank you. And I have to say, like, something that's been really beautiful is um like just the amount of support from every sector of Latino and Latin American culture. Like, I mean, like we talk about hilarious rivalries, right? Like there's like the Mexico-Argentina soccer rivalry, there's the Brazil-Argentina, but it's like a la hora de la verdad, we support each other, you know?
Totally.
And
Right?
I've gotten like so much love from every corner. every corner of Latin America.
We are united. We are one. I mean, listen to Jasmine's story. We know it well. We all know it. Okay. So to work in silos, to divide, it's not going to work. We need to continue uniting. I love that you're getting support like that. That's how it should be. Okay. This is just a game, people. There will be a winner and a loser, but somos Latinos unidos. So let's keep on with that. Jasmine, congratulations,
Thank
girl.
you.
This is so exciting. Shout out to everybody over at Futuro and NPR. We honor you guys. We celebrate you guys. Podcasters unite. And also, just listen to the show, guys. Let's continue to support. These are the human stories that ignite us. And we are also educating everybody else about how vibrant and beautiful and just how much storytelling Latinos have to share. So thanks. Don't you love this medium? This is like such a great medium to share
I
our
love
stories.
it.
I'm
I love it.
obsessed. I'm like, I'm 5 years in, but I don't see this coming to a close anytime soon.
No, I love it. I also think I've thought often like we're very lucky to live in I mean there's a lot of stuff about this moment that is terrible, but I where it's like I don't know, like maybe like 20, 30 years ago I've heard from colleagues that it was impossible for Latinos to tell their own story.
Thank you so much for sharing yours, Jasmine. And
Thank you.
also that of a very popular star who we love, Messi. All right, so check out La Última Copa, the last cup, and let's keep it going. Go World Cup! Woo woo! All right, what did you think,
Wow.
Jamie?
I
Jamie.
didn't I didn't know all this stuff about Messi with the hormone therapy and all that stuff, like, and the Argentinians like kind of being mad at him and then him crying over that, and
Yo.
don't cry for me, Argentina, but he's crying. So
Yo.
like that's a biopic in the future. I feel like we're gonna see a Messi movie coming out in the
Ooh.
next, once he retires and all that stuff.
Yes.
But
Really, really incredible. Great work, everybody over at NPR and Futuro Studios. Great work. Great work, Jasmine. Keep it up.
I
Okay,
mean,
great. This is so fun. I really enjoyed this a lot, Jamie. This was cool. I'm so glad we got to kick it with Jasmine and hear her spiel. She's gonna be back. Is there anything else you want to say to the LOLeros before we depart? Because we have some World Cup games to watch right now.
yeah, I mean, LOLs, thanks for listening and supporting and loving us for who we are.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty
They
much
definitely
it.
love us for who we are. Who we are is who we be. You know what I'm saying? We come here as Jay Ferns, Rachel La Loca, Frank Spiracy Nibs. That is who we are, and that is who we be. And we appreciate you guys for letting us be unapologetically us on Latinos Out Loud. It's real nice to connect with you guys now 2 times a week. I know we spoiled y'all with 3. There was 3, and people were just like bang, bang, bang in the name of the Latinos, the out and the loud. But we had to reduce it to 2, and we're still gonna bring the fire. But you know what I'm saying? Rock out with us. This is Latinos Out Loud is the brand. We are working it, and you guys are supporting it, and we thank you so much for that. Okay, please continue to do that. Leave us reviews. We just celebrated our 300th episode, so shout out to the people who reached out to us to congratulate us and sent us some really nice messages. Everybody else, you could drop us a line. You really could. It's very easy. Here's how you do it. You can go to Instagram, you could go to the Book of Face, you could go to Twitter's, and all you have to do is reach out to Latinos Out Loud. We are Latinos Out Loud on Instagram and Facebook, and Latinos Out Loud _ on the Twitter. And you could also email us. We are latinosoutloud@gmail.com. You could also call us at 978 Latinos. Also reach out to us individually at Rachel La Loca, at J Ferns, at Nibs0125. Right, Jamie?
And you can send us your resume at LinkedIn,
Yes.
Latinos Out Loud LinkedIn. That's not real, but
It could be. We're hiring. We are hiring in 2023. So holler at us if you want to be a part of the brand. Yo, it's been real, yo. This is so much fun. We do this because it's so much fun and we love it so much. We're moving our Latino people forward while making them laugh, and it feels so good. Woo! Doesn't it, Jamie?
It feels great.
Feels great. Well, we'll talk to you guys soon. Happy holiday shopping. Good luck out there. Relax, all right? Relax. Oh. That's what I'm gonna say if I can get everything on my kids' Christmas list this year. You know? Go! That's been another episode of Latinos Out Loud. And I have to say, on that note, you know, we're